Salam Sejahtera and a very good morning everyone. I hope you're all doing well for today. Welcome to our IMR-SEAMEO Webinar series on Advanced Diagnostic Technologies in Rare Disease Landscape. This webinar series was initiated with the aim in mind to share the knowledge on biomedical research and present the research outcomes on rare disease in Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, let me share what is rare disease. A few salient points on rare disease. What is a rare disease? It is a rare disease among in the local population. There are approximately 6,000 to 8,000 rare diseases in worldwide. In Malaysia, defines rare disease as medical conditions less than 1 in 4,000 people. In year 2023, Ministry of Health has recognized almost 500 rare diseases in Malaysia. What are the causes? 80% of diseases are due to genetic factors, whom are commonly being affected. 75% of patients are young children, and 30% of patients die before the age of 5 years old. Can we diagnose early? In 1980, newborn screening has been established as cord blood screening program for thyroid-stimulating hormone to diagnose congenital hypothyroidism, and G6PD, glucose 6-phosphate deficiency, to diagnose enzyme deficiency anemia. Over the years, an expanded newborn screening program has been established in Malaysia and widely expanded as services to KKM hospitals for inherited metabolic diseases, including amino acid metabolism, fatty acid oxidation, organic acid metabolism disorders. Before I introduce, let me introduce our center, which is known as Specialized Diagnostic Center, and now we recognize it as Biochemical Genomic Research Center. Our center consists of Biochemistry Unit, Molecular Diagnostic Unit, Special Protein Unit, Endocrine Unit, and lastly, Specimen Management Unit. Our laboratory offers various laboratory testings to KKM hospitals, and our Specimen Management Unit ensures that all our samples reach efficiently and secure handling until reaching for clinical diagnostic service and research purposes. Our diagnostic services are there to support the chemical pathology service as and to all hospitals as a national reference center. We also provide comprehensive confirmatory laboratory tests for inborn errors of metabolism, including inherited endocrine and protein diseases. We are now the National Reference Center for IM and inherited endocrine and protein diseases. Annually, we provide testing to all KKM hospitals in Malaysia. For research, we conduct numerous research and method development, and we try to develop new test methods using the latest technologies to assist the clinical specialists in the detection of rare diseases. And we continuously support patients' management. Our current network linkages include KKM hospitals, private hospitals, and public universities. Till now, SDC has made major achievements, which include we provide comprehensive diagnostic services to KKM hospitals by offering biochemical genetic for the diagnosis of IEM. This also includes rare protein diseases, endocrine diseases, and molecular genetic diseases for all patients in Malaysia. Currently, we offer more than 200 tests, including screening, confirmatory, and molecular testing. Besides that, STC has also been awarded for the SMIS, which is known as System Information System. SMIS, which is being used in all hospitals and clinic kesihatan. Currently, STC is the training center for postgrads and subspecialty trainings. Before moving forward, I would like to announce a few housekeeping rules from the Secretariat. We will not be taking questions during the presentation, but you may post your questions using the link shared in the YouTube channel. The question and answer session will be conducted after both presentations have ended. An attendance link is also provided in the YouTube channel for those who would like to receive an e-certificate of attendance. Lastly, please subscribe to our National Institute of Health Malaysia YouTube channel and click for any notifications whenever there is a new post. Ladies and gentlemen, we have two great presenters from Institute for Medical Research, IMR Malaysia, whom will share their research outputs on rare diseases. Before that, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Saras from the Endocrine Unit, Institute of Medical Research, Ministry of Health at Jalan Pahang, Kuala Lumpur, and I'll be the moderator for today's sessions. For today's live webinar, we have our first speaker, which is Encik Wan Ahmad Dzulkaranain, who is a science officer in Endocrine Unit under Biochemical Genomic Research Center. He holds a bachelor degree in biomedical science from International Islamic University. His research area of interest is in method evaluation and laboratory endocrine tests and quality assurance of lab. He has presented few posters in local conferences. For today, Encik Wan Ahmad will be sharing his research experience with the presentation titled Newborn Screening for Congenital Hypothyroidism through Dry Blood Spot in Malaysia, a Candidate Methodology. Encik Wan, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Saras. Assalamualaikum and good morning to all the audience. I hope all of you in a good condition today. Thank you for joining us for this last session of IMR-SEAMEO Webinar for 2024. So my name is Wan Ahmad Dzulkaranain bin Razali. I'm a science officer from Endocrine Unit, Specialized Diagnostic Center, IMR, or currently known as BGRC, Biochemistry Genetic Research Center. So for today, I would like to give a short presentation based on my research project, which entitled Newborn Screening for Congenital Hypothyroidism through Dry Blood Spot in Malaysia, a Candidate Methodology. So, dry blood spot has arisen as a promising alternative sampling for congenital hypothyroidism newborn screening. We believe in the future that dry blood spot should replace the current methodology, which is cord blood for congenital hypothyroidism newborn screening. In this presentation, I will elaborate more about dry blood spot and how do we use dry blood spot as a sample methodology for congenital hypothyroidism newborn screening. So I proceed to the next slide. This is the table of content for this presentation. I would like to break down the presentation into 5 key points to make it easier to understand. I hope all the audience can relate and link all of these key points to understand this presentation. So the first key point is the disease itself. What is congenital hypothyroidism? What is the cause of this disease? Who are affected? And what is the current prevention practice for congenital hypothyroidism in Malaysia? Second one is sampling methodology. For this part, I will explain briefly about current sampling methodology, which is cord blood, and the new one that we propose, which is dry blood spot. Number 3, dry blood spot, DBS. For this one, I will elaborate more details about dry blood spot and what is dry blood spot and how do we use dry blood spot to collect blood sample and why dry blood spot is a promising candidate method for sampling methodology for congenital hypothyroidism newborn blood screening. Number 4, dry blood spot processing. For this part, I will explain how we process the dry blood spot in endocrine laboratory, in our endocrine laboratory. And number 5 is preliminary cut-off TSH. So for this part, I will explain about my research in establish the cut-off of the TSH dry blood spot. So I'll proceed to the I'm sorry. Okay, for the first point, congenital hypothyroidism. What is congenital hypothyroidism? Uh, Congenital hypothyroidism is a disease that caused by the deficiency of thyroid hormone present at birth. Congenital hypothyroidism is the most common congenital endocrine disorder. The incidence rate of congenital hypothyroidism in Malaysia is 1 in 3,000, which means that there are about 180 babies are born with congenital hypothyroidism. The cause of this deficiency of thyroid hormone is the abnormality in thyroid gland development or a defect in thyroid hormone production. So simply said that congenital hypothyroidism is the deficiency of thyroid hormone. So why thyroid hormone is very important to our body? Because thyroid hormone play a critical role in multiple organ development, and one of it is brain. Thyroid hormone regulate process such as neurogenesis, myelination, dendrite proliferation, and synapse formation. All of this process is a process to develop a complete brain. So can you imagine what happened to the baby that born with congenital hypothyroidism? They will have the deficiency in thyroid hormone, and this will impair all of this process, the process that I mentioned before, the neurogenesis, the myelination, and the brain cannot be developed completely, and this will cause the neurological damage and will lead to mental retardation. So congenital hypothyroidism is the most common preventable cause of mental retardation in children. It means that even though that congenital hypothyroidism is the highest cause of the mental retardation in children, but it's also the easiest one to prevent. And the untreated congenital hypothyroidism, usually majority of the case, the disorder is permanent. So how do we prevent congenital hypothyroidism? So by doing the newborn screening. So Malaysia has implemented congenital hypothyroidism newborn screening since 2003, together with G6PD deficiency screening. As you can see in the picture, this is the consensus guideline on screening, diagnosis, and management of congenital hypothyroidism in Malaysia by KKM. So this is the current practice of the prevention. And the current practice of prevention is the newborn screening using cord blood and the treatment with levothyroxine or L-thyroxine. So this in congenital hypothyroidism, there will be elevated thyroid stimulating hormone with low level of thyroid hormone. So what we want to measure is the level of the thyroid stimulating hormone. Okay. As you can see in the picture, this is the picture of treatment algorithm for congenital hypothyroidism, and the test that we use is the TSH test, thyroid stimulating hormone test. So there are two algorithms, but I will focus only on the cord blood TSH. As you can see on the screen, there are three reference interval, which is less than 20 will be less than 20 MIU or micro international per liter. Micro international unit per liter will be considered normal, and no further action will be taken. If the result of the babies 20 to 60 MIU per liter will consider borderline, and more than 60 will be considered high, and will consider high and consider as they have the congenital hypothyroidism. Okay. So this is just a simple elaboration for the current and the new sample technique of for congenital hypothyroidism newborn screening. So for the current practice, we use the cord blood TSH, where we collect the blood from the umbilical cord. This process is quite complicated because it need specific medical personnel to do it, to collect the blood, and it needs a lot of equipment, and it needs a lot of complicated procedure. So this is the one that we suggest, the the new proposed method, which is dry blood spot sampling. Okay, I will explain more about dry blood spot. Okay, this is a dry blood spot sampling and advantages. So what is dry blood spot? Dry blood spot is a sample of blood collected on filter paper, typically using heel prick method in newborns. So the technology is quite easy and straightforward, where we collect a few drops of blood from the heel pricks on the filter paper, and we let it dry, and we will send it to the laboratory. The laboratory then will extract the blood on the filter paper to diagnose or to analyze the blood, the sample. So I have a short video on how they collect blood sample, dry blood spot.
This video provides step-by-step guidance for capillary heel puncture in newborn blood spot screening, focusing on timing, sample quality, and quantity to minimize recollection. Newborn screening should be performed around 36 to 72 hours of life. Ensure the baby is hydrated and warm. The heel is pink and below the level of the baby's heart to assist blood flow. Good pain management cannot be overstated. A positive experience for mother and baby is essential. Hold the foot, expose the heel, and clean the heel as per your protocol. Puncture the baby's heel in the recommended area. Wipe away the first drop of blood. Gently squeeze and release the heel to produce a large drop of blood before allowing it to drop onto the card. Do not allow the baby's skin to touch the screening card. Fill the circle, ideally with 1 drop of blood before moving to the next circle. Aim to fill all circles on the card. Complete collection by applying pressure to the heel until bleeding stops and then wrap with gauze. Through early screening, affected babies can be identified and, in most cases, treated to prevent or minimize the health impact of these conditions.
Okay, thanks to the Royal Women Hospital and Benson Video Production for the educational video. So as you can see in the video, the procedure is very straightforward and easy. It's just a need to prick the heel of the baby, and few drop of blood will be taken, and then it can be sent to the laboratory. So actually there are a lot of advantages of dry blood spot sampling compared to cord blood. But in this presentation, I will just point out 7 of it. The first one is the dry blood spot sampling has established protocols. For your information, dry blood spot has been extensively used in many countries in the world for the newborn screening of congenital hypothyroidism. So most of the countries have already used dry blood spot as their sampling methodology. So it has established SOP and protocol that we can easily refer to all of this protocol if we want to use the dry blood spot sampling for congenital hypothyroidism newborn screening. Number 2 is convenience, as you can see in the video, how easy to collect the blood from the babies, and actually there is no need for specific medical personnel to collect the blood, unlike the cord blood collection. And the collection of dry blood spot could be collected in various locations and included KK, Klinik Kesihatan, hospital, or even at home. So I can say that dry blood spot is very convenient. And number 3 is storage stability. So as you can see, dry blood spot, their form is dry form. So it is easy to store the dry blood spot without the use of refrigerator. There's no need for refrigeration to store the dry blood spot. Number 4, comprehensive screening. So comprehensive screening here means that for one dry blood spot, we can use it for multiple tests. we can use it for multiple tests. For example, the dried blood spot that has been used for immune error metabolism also can be used for congenital hypothyroidism. Even in my research, the dried blood spot that I use are coming from biochemistry unit. The dried blood spot biochemistry unit, they already performed the immune error metabolism on the dried blood spot, and I use it for congenital hypothyroidism study. Number 5, minimally invasive, since it only took a simple heel prick. So I can say it's minimally invasive. Number 6 is cost effective. This is due to the less complicated procedure and also the elimination of the usage of blood tube and refrigerator, because because it's eliminate both of these things. And the last one is ease of transport. Due to their dry form, it's easy. Dry blood is easy to be transported from one location to another without worrying about the blood leakage or a broken tube. So with all of these advantages, we believe that blood spot is a promising sampling methodology for congenital hypothyroidism. So I will go to the next slide. Okay, this is a slide for dried blood spot processing. On this slide, I will explain how we process the dried blood spot for congenital hypothyroidism newborn screening. For this purpose, we use neonatal HTSS kit with time-resolved fluoroimmunoassay (FIA) on Vector 2D analyzer. So for starter, we will use, here you can see the 96 well plate, and this is the sample of dried blood spot. There are 3 samples of dried blood spot, and there are 3 spots on the dried blood spot. As you can see, in certain dried blood spot, there are 2 holes. This is the hole that we punch, and after we punch the dried blood spot, we call it disc. So this is the disc that we punch from the dried blood spot. Why we punch this dried blood spot, I will explain in the next video. Okay, this is the first process, in processing the dried blood spot, DBS punching, dried blood spot punching. For this procedure, we will use the automatic DBS puncher from Elmer. Okay, I will show you a video of my MLT doing the procedure. So in this video, you can see MLT from Endocrine is using the automatic puncher to punch out the filter paper. And the filter paper that the disc that they punch should be with the diameter of the 3.2 millimeter. As you can see, in each spot, we actually can punch 4 to 5 discs from each spot. But in this video, she only punched 2. If you see clearly, there are 96 well plate below the machine. The dried blood spot that being punched will enter the well below the machine. Okay. So each disc will be go into each well in the 96 well plate. Sorry. Okay. So this is this picture here is the plate map of the 96 well plate. Now after the earlier process, in each well will containing the disc that been punched from the dried blood spot. So in the second step, we will just add 200 microliter of diluted anti-HTSS EU tracer solution to each well. In this picture, you can see MLT Vani is adding the diluted anti-HTSS using the micropipette in each well. So after that, after we add the solution, we will just shake the plate fast for 10 minutes. So you can see the process here. We use a Delphia plate shake. This is to mix between the dried blood spot and the reagent. After the fast shake, we will incubate the plate for 4 hours at room temperature with slow shaking. And for this purpose, we use the incubator shaker in this picture. And after the incubation period, we will just remove the solution and filter paper from the well plate. Use this machine. You can see in the video. This machine will suck all of the filter paper and the reagent inside, and they will leave only the fluorescent inside, which you cannot see with your naked eye, but we can measure it. So after this process, we will add enhanced solution, and then we will measure the fluorescence with we will detect it with Perkin-Elmer Victor 2D. So by using this analyzer, we will read the TSA result of the babies. It's quite straightforward, just 5 steps to process the blood spot to get the TSA result. Okay. So, this is the last part of my presentation, which is the preliminary cutoff. So this is one of our study and our unit endocrine study regarding the thyroid stimulating hormone in newborn red blood spot. For this study, we aim to establish the preliminary cutoff for for thyroid stimulating hormone red blood spot. So before I go further, I would like to explain what is cutoff. Cutoff is a point to differentiate between you are you are healthy or you are not healthy. You are normal or you have the disease. This is the point where to differentiate both of them. For example, let's say the cut point of diabetes is 10, and the result and you got result 13. So it means that you have diabetes. So as simple as that. So in every reagent that we receive, actually they will give their own cut point. Let's say for the reagent from China, the reagent from China for diabetes type 1, they will give the cut point and the reagent kit. But actually the cut point is for their own population, for China population. The study that do is among the China population, and it's different for our local population because it different from genetic, for dietary, location, and the procedure itself, and many more. So that's why it's necessary for us to establish our own cut point. So for this study, we want to establish the cut point, the cut-off point for thyroid stimulating hormone in newborn red blood spot. So for this study, we collected 333 red blood spot baby sample, healthy baby sample, and 176 male and 157 female. And all these 333 sample were analyzed using neonatal HTSS kit with time-resolved fluoroimmunoassay, FIA methodology on Victor 2D analysis. This is the same procedure that I showed in the previous slide. We exactly use the same procedure to process the red blood spot. So after we got all the result of 333 babies, we do the calculation using the CLSI and guideline of method verification of quantitative measurement in medical laboratory Malaysia 2015. So for the result, you can see here, first we need to see whether the data is normal or not normal. If the data is normal, we need you to do the parametric test, and if the not normal, we need to do the non-parametric. In this case, all of this data, 333 data is non-parametric distribution. After that, we need to check for the outlier. It means that if the data is really far from another, we need to remove the data. But for all the 333, there are no outliers. And then we need to check the partitioning between both gender, because there are some type of tests that gender give a significant difference. For example, there are tests in my unit, anti-Mullerian hormone. The result are different for each gender, male and female. But in this case, for TSH, we find out that there's no no significant difference in gender, so we will just use same cutoff. And lastly, after we calculate using the method of using this CLSI method, we got the 9.4 micromilliliter for the cutoff of dry blood spot of TSA dry blood spot. Sorry. Okay. Okay. This is the poster of the study that we sent to MSCB conference. So for the conclusion, the congenital hypothyroidism newborn screening using dry blood spot has been used worldwide because due to their cost effectiveness, convenient in transport, easier collection and storage compared to cord blood. So the preliminary cutoff that we get, which is 9.4, is close to the cutoff provided in neonatal HTSS kit, because the cutoff that provided in the reagent is 9. We got 9.4. So this preliminary cutoff obtained could be used to validate the actual cutoff in Malaysia population. It means that for the real study, we need a larger data, a larger sample population. So this preliminary cutoff can be used. And this project gives insight to find the most suitable sampling methodology for optimum treatment for congenital hypothyroidism in Malaysia. So lastly, for acknowledgement, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to this individual for mentoring and supporting me in completing this project. Dr. Anas Fiza, the head of BJRC, Dr. Saraswathy Apparow, head of Endocrine Unit, Puan Raja Hashida binti Raja Bongsu, Endocrine Science Officer, Nadira Zainal Abidin, Hematology Science Officer, Muhammad Irfan Buhari bin Ahmad Nazri, Biochemistry Science Officer, and all endocrine staff, especially who is directly involved in this project. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you. I will pass back the screen to moderator.
Thank you, Encik Wan, for the interesting talk. It was a very good share that we can use dry blood spot as our alternative platform sampling for congenital thyroidism. If there are any questions that you would like to ask about the presentation, please kindly submit your question using the link provided in the YouTube channel. Next, I would like to introduce our second speaker. Our second speaker is Cik Marleena Mamat, who is a scientific officer in Biochemistry Unit under Biochemical Genomic Research Center, IMR. She holds a bachelor degree in biochemistry from University Putra, Malaysia, and masters in medical science from University Kebangsaan, Malaysia. Her research area of interest is mainly on method development using liquid chromatography, mass spectrometry, LCMS, and gas chromatography, mass spectrometry, GCMS. She has presented numerous posters in local and international conferences. Besides that, she was also invited as speaker in many healthcare institutions and universities. She also won few awards on her research outputs on her mass spectrometry in local conferences. It is our great privilege to have Cik Marleena Mamat with us to share her research. Her presentation title is Translation of Mass Spectrometry-Based Assay into Diagnostic Evaluation of Creatine Deficiency Syndrome. Over to you, Cik Marleena Mamat. The screen is yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saras, for your kind introduction. My name is Marleena Mamat, a Science Officer from Biochemistry Unit, IMR. Assalamualaikum and very good morning. Today, I would like to talk about translation of mass spectrometry-based assay into diagnostic evaluation of creatine deficiency syndrome. So for the introduction, what is creatine deficiency syndrome? CDS, also known as inborn errors of creatine metabolism and transport, is a new class of inborn errors of metabolism characterized by growth of disturbances in energy metabolism. is occurred in the cytosol. So there are three types of CDS. The first one is arginine glycine amidinotransferase deficiency, also known as AGAT. So it is involved in creatine biosynthesis. So I will talk it later. And for the AGAT deficiency, it is autosomal recessive disorder. It is caused by the AGAT gene. So far, no prevalence have been reported. It's only 30 patients have been reported worldwide. Treatment for the AGAT deficiency involve in creatine supplementation and creatine monohydrate. So for the second one is guanidinoacetate methyltransferase deficiency, also known as GAMT. It is also involved in creatine biosynthesis, and it is also autosomal recessive disorders. It is due to GAMT gene. Prevalence for the GAMT deficiency is estimated to be 1 in 114,000 in birth. Treatment for GAMT deficiency involve the creatine supplementation, creatine monohydrate, ornithine HCl, sodium benzoate, and also dietary arginine restriction. So far, more than 200 patients have been reported worldwide. So the third one is creatine transporter deficiency, also known as CRTR. It is functional defect in the creatine transporter, and it is X-linked disorder. It is due to SLC6A8 gene. The prevalence for creatine transporter is 0.3 to 2.2% of males with NIQ less than 70 and 2 to 5% of males with non-syndromic. The current treatment for creatine transporter is cyclocreatine and also diacetylcreatine ester. So far, 200 patients have been reported in the world. This picture shows the biosynthesis, transport, and metabolism of creatine. So the first one is AGAT enzyme. So the combination of arginine and glycine will produce the guanidinoacetate. It occurs in the kidney. Guanidinoacetate then has been transferred into the liver. The second one is GAMT enzyme. GAMT enzyme catalyzes the S-adenosyl L-methionine to produce creatine and S-adenosyl L-homocysteine. And the third one is creatine transporter. Creatine transporter help to transport the creatine into the blood to the tissues such as skeletal muscles, heart and the brain. So this table shows the characteristic biochemical profile for the CDS. So for the patient with AGAT deficiency, the creatine will be low and the guanidinoacetate level will be low in the body. So the patient with GAMT deficiency, the creatine become normal, but it is high in guanidinoacetate level. And meanwhile, for the creatine transporter patient, the creatine will be high, but normal the guanidinoacetate level. So what is the symptom for the CDS patient? It is basically the main symptom for the patient with CDS is neurometabolic condition characterized by epilepsy or seizures, mental retardation, speech and language delay, and also abnormal behavior like autistic spectrum disorder and autoaggressive. Other than that, patient also have hypotonia, psychomotor regression, movement disorder, and also developmental delay. So what is the importance of early diagnosis? So the first one is we can reduce cost and time, decrease in mortality and morbidity, reduction in disability, patient management and genetic counseling, prevention of harm to family members, and also overall quality of life. So what is the current diagnosis of CDS in Malaysia? So basically, for the diagnosis of CDS, the first one is magnetic resonance spectroscopy. So for MRS, is characterized by an absent or reduced peak of creatine in the brain when measured by the MRS. So the second one is biochemical testing. We are using mass spectrometry to detect or to measure guanidinic acetate and creatine for diagnosis of CDS. So for the methodology, what specimen can we use for diagnosis of CDS? So there are three types of specimen can be used. So the first one is dry blood spot from the hybrid. The second one, we can use urine, at least 2 ml of urine. This actually the random urine. And the third one is plasma in EDTA or heparin tube or serum in plain tube. So this is our new version of request form. So I bold here is all the three tests for creatine deficiency syndrome. So for the processing method, basically they involve 3 steps to process the sample. The first one is a protein precipitation and extraction of sample. We put the sample into 96 well plate and we put the methanol and acetonitrile to precipitate and extract the sample. After that, for the derivatization, we use the mixture of acetyl chloride and butanol, and then we incubate in the oven for 30 minutes. After the incubation, we dry the sample using the nitrogen generator at least for 1 hour. So after that, we can ready to inject the sample into the mass spectrometry. We are using mass spectrometry from the water system. Why we choose the mass spectrometry? According to the study by the other researchers before, mass spectrometry is the gold standard method to measure creatine and guanidinic acetate. So, because of that, MS gives high sensitivity, high specificity, simultaneous analysis of multiple metabolites, rapid and non-invasive. So this is data analysis. We are using target link software. So the first picture is the TIC chromatogram for creatine and internal standard. And the second one is calibration graph to quantitate for the patient sample. We use 5 different concentrations to plot the calibration graph. So for the conclusion, what can I say here is the first one is early and accurate diagnosis for the CDS. It's important for accurate diagnosis as a timely intervention and can prevent severe neurological and muscular damage and also can improve in long-term outcome. And for the second one, I can conclude here is for mass spectrometry is offered a powerful non-invasive tool for enhancing the diagnosis of CDS. This is our team unit. And for that, thank you for your kind attention. Back to you, Dr. Saras.
Thank you, Cik Marleena Mamat, for the insightful presentation on mass spectrometry. Yes, creatine deficiency syndrome is indeed a rare disease in Malaysia. So using mass spectrometry is one of a wonderful platform to diagnose this rare disease. Besides that, IMR will still use mass spectrometry to diagnose other rare diseases. All of us are glad that IMR continues to support the laboratory services for patients with rare diseases in Malaysia, besides conducting translational research in rare inherited genetic diseases and clinical endocrinology. We will now be moving to question and answer session. Please do not hesitate to send us your questions using the link provided in the YouTube channel, and I will try to my best to connect to you, to our distinguished speakers through the posted questions. Nevertheless, should the time does not allow us to address all the questions given, our speakers will try their best to answer these questions through the email. So we have a few questions from the audience. Our first question is to Encik Wan. Can you share some of your limitations using the dried blood spot sampling for testing congenital hypothyroidism?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Saras, for the good question. Actually, of course, there are limitations in changing the sampling methodology, and because to change sampling methodology, it means that you need to change a lot of things, and it included the analyzer, the reagent, and the procedure itself, and all of it will cost budget. And this is the biggest limitation that currently occur in Malaysia, because to change all of this, especially for hospital that already have their own analyzer, which is they already bought the analyzer, and to change the analyzer is not easy, and it needs a lot of money. So, but what I can say is, even though it means it will require a lot of money, but for the long time period, it will give many advantages to Malaysia. Okay, that's all for the limitations that I can think. Thank you. Back to Dr. Saras.
Okay, we have a second question to our second speaker, Cik Marleena. What samples can be used to diagnose creatine deficiency syndrome?
Thank you so much, Dr. Saras, for the question. As I mentioned before, we can use 3 types of specimen. So the first one is dry blood spot. We can use the urine, random urine, at least 2 to 5 ml. And also we can use the plasma, either in the EDTA tube or heparin tube, and also the serum sample. Back to you, Dr. Saras.
Okay, we have another third question here for Cik Marleena as well. Based on your laboratory experience, how many cases were found in Malaysia creatine deficiency syndrome?
Thank you so much, Dr. Saras, for the question. So far, only 1 sample has been confirmed positive and is currently receiving treatment for GMT deficiency. Pass to you, Dr. Saras.
Okay, there are a few questions coming in. Okay, we have a fourth question to Encik Wan, the first speaker. Is screening for congenital hypothyroidism compulsory to all Malaysian babies? And what is the cost for a dried blood spot?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Saras, for the question. Actually, it's a compulsory. It's more to mandatory, I think, because that's why Malaysia implemented it as a newborn screening, because for those who are affected by congenital hypothyroidism, sometimes we cannot detect it early at early phase. But as they grow up, we can see the mental retardation will show as they grow up. So that's why Malaysia implemented this newborn screening for congenital hypothyroidism, due to because it can be prevented early at the early phase. And I'm sorry for the question back then. And for the question. Sorry. Question, Dr. Saras, the question.
There was a question on what is the cost
the
of
early
the
question
drug spot?
is not finished. The one that you asked before. Sorry, we have a technical issue here, because there are a lot of questions. Missing the first question there. And what else the question is? Okay, the cost per drug blood spot and what is the quality and integrity of the specimen. So for the drug blood spot, the quality that we usually use is the 903 filter paper. What 903? Am I right, Dr. Saras? 903 filter paper. It based on the thickness of the quality depend on the thickness of the filter paper. And I'm not sure actually for the cost per drug blood spot. Sir, can you help me for the cost per drug blood spot?
Well, the cost for the drug blood spot is usually if it's being performed. I'm not sure. Are they meaning is the sampling the cut cost or is it the testing service cost? So if I will say if it's a testing cost, it will cost about 20 to 30 ringgit. Compared to cord blood, it's a bit more expensive, but there is advantages and disadvantages using cord blood and red blood spot.
Okay,
but if we use as a red blood spot card, and it's quite cheap because we can buy in a big bulk, and we can store it for a longer years.
Okay, thank you, Saras, for assistance. I hope the answer question the answer is related to the question that we given by the audience. Okay, I'll pass back the screen to Dr. Saras.
Okay, we have a few more questions coming in. Okay, we have one question from the audience. What is, to Cik Marleena, our second speaker, what is the cost to diagnose creatine metabolism disorder in IMR?
Thank you so much, Dr. Saras, for the question. So for the government hospital, it's free of charge. But for the private hospital, the test prices are 80 ringgit for each test. Back to you, Dr. Saras.
Right. Thank you so much, Marleena, for the answer. Let me see, a few more questions to go.
Tadi tu boleh. Okay.
We have another question, which is an interesting question here, to Cik Wan, our first speaker. Can you share some experience? How do you calculate the sampling size for your preliminary cutoff project?
Okay, it is a good question. Thank you, Mr. Effendi. So I already mentioned that for this establishing of preliminary cutoff, we use the CSLI guideline, and for CSLI guideline, we need at least 120 for 95% of confidence for confidence interval. But if you need more confidence interval, let's say 99%, you need at least 210 sample. But for this for our research, we use 333, which is more than the amount required, which is 120. Okay, that's the answer of the question. We use this as a guideline. 120 is the minimum size.
Okay, there was another question here. Why do you choose CLSI guideline as your reference range establishment for your preliminary cutoff?
Okay, thank you again from Mr. Fendi again. So, because the guideline or the CSR guideline has been established, and this is the easiest and the easiest one to follow, which we only need to calculate based on the guideline that they given. And there is actually another method. I believe some of us using the ROC curve and many other methods are. But for this study, I will focus just following the guideline of CSLI. Okay, that's all. Back to Dr. Saras. Thank you for the question.
Okay, I'm afraid that's all we have for the Q&A session. Any additional questions will be answered by the speakers through the email. We hope this webinar has shed light on some research work that we are conducting in our center in IMR and would spark interest and could initiate research collaborations with others. If you have any collaborations that you're looking forward, please contact us, our Dr. Ana Sufiza Habib, head of our center, Dr. Azahana, head of biochemistry unit, Puan Nur Azima, head of molecular diagnostic unit, myself, head of endocrine unit, Dr. Nur Hafiza, head of specialized protein unit. We are looking forward for more projects and collaborations from all of y'all. Lastly, I would like to acknowledge to our Director DG, Deputy DG, NIH Manager, Head of Center, and IMR Director, and our Head of Center to give us the privilege for us to present in this IMR-SEAMEO Webinar 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, now we have come to the end of the webinar session year 2024. Don't forget to subscribe to our National Institute of Health Malaysia YouTube channel. Before I conclude, I would like to announce that we will have our next session of IMR-SEAMEO webinar series in year 2025. So please don't forget to mark your calendars in year 2025. We hope you can join us at the next session in the year 2025. Until then, many thanks from all of us in IMR. Take care and stay safe.